We want to get up close and personal on Peters on the Block. Today's guest is Dr. Cho Bi-yeon, a research fellow at the Center for Security Strategies at the Sejong Institute. With the world's eyes currently on K-defense, she is a seasoned expert who has studied the South Korean defense industry for years and is well known for explaining complex topics in a way that anyone can easily understand. Today, we sit down directly with Dr. Jo, a specialist researching K-defense as well as national defense and security strategies. Dr. Cho Bi-yeon, please introduce yourself to our listeners.
네, 안녕하세요. 세종연구소 안보전략연구센터에 있는 조비현 연구위원이라고 합니다. 오늘 이렇게 불러주셔서 감사드립니다.
반갑습니다. Dr. Jo, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me today.
So your introduction was in Korean because, and I always love it when our guests can speak English, so today we'll be doing the interview in English, right?
Great.
Thank you so much. That's a big, big relief to me. Actually, we already filmed together for the TV show Vibe in Action.
Right.
So that's how we first met. And I was really impressed with your knowledge on K-defense, which was fabulous. And, you know, many boys, I think, grow up being interested in army toys and shooting and war games and things like this. And I noticed that your label, an MZ defense expert who breaks down K-defense with a youthful perspective. How did you develop this kind of reputation?
I don't think I have such a good reputation, but
You're too modest.
No. But as you kindly introduced earlier on, I focus on national defense issues at large, and that way weapon systems do overlap with the field that I do study. So that's how I began to be more interested in the weapon systems. But I'm not like a military 덕후, you know. But
like completely obsessed with military weapons and stuff like that. You're not.
I shouldn't. I should be moderate. There are more higher level
people who are like really into like tanks and guns and things like this. I think I have met some of those people, and you're right. Some of those are just thinking 24/7, eat, sleeping, drinking weapons, right? That's not quite you, Dr. Jo, but you're still very passionate about this field. And so when you say defense expert or you talk about the military, as I mentioned earlier, I think boys have the image of playing with these toys when they're young, guns and whatnot. So what motivated you to start in this field, researching defense and national security? Was it something you were interested in when you were a small girl as well?
No.
Okay.
Actually, defense industry was not my dream from the earlier period.
Okay.
I had many different dreams, but I personally liked cars, big engines.
Oh, nice.
And even before I started studying, fighter jets were very interesting. But then, as I came into this field, weapon systems, fighter jets, expensive weapon systems are really at the intersection of the state and economy and technology, investment. So that's how I began to be more interested. But when I was a child, I was interested in arts and other sorts of things. So.
And cars was like a sub-interest when you were little or when you got older?
Yeah. I think I liked cars. Like when I was traveling with my parents, I would memorize the names of the cars.
Oh, wow.
And I liked the cars.
Okay.
As much as I like the stuffed dolls.
Both of those
at
the same time.
Yes.
That's really intriguing because, I know, again, many boys memorize all the brand names, all the models of cars and things, but I don't know too many girls in my vicinity. And I wonder why that is, if that's like the environment or that's DNA or somewhere in between, who knows. Benny is on board from the Philippines saying, your field that you work in, that's really interesting. And I'm really curious about the inspirations behind your journey. So we're just starting to dive deep into Dr. Jo. And so definitely not obsessed with fighter jets and things like that, over dolls, like a more well-rounded, perhaps, interest when you were younger. And K-defense, I do a lot of YouTube shows at the moment, and we've done so many K-defense videos these days. I feel like it's a really hot topic. And I know ARIRANG Radio, we focus more on K-pop because we play lots of songs, but it's getting lots of attention, just like K-dramas, K-pop. So what is the defense industry first? For people who are listening, maybe they've been watching the World Cup a lot. So they hear defense and they think football, or they think like defenders, but it's not that, right? What is the defense industry?
Right. I really love this question because it really reminded me of all the earlier questions that I had when I first began this field. So more in boring sense, the generic definition of defense industry would be the ecosystem or institutions and companies that research, develop, and maintain military services, technologies, and military goods.
Yeah.
But what's very interesting is you have different names. You can call it defense industry, or you can call it arms industry, or you can call it weapons industry.
These are all the same thing,
right,
just with different names.
Right. The emphasis is, if you say it's a defense industry, defense is not something always aggressive. It's for self-defense.
Yeah, it's not threatening at all, right?
It has more positive connotation.
Yeah.
But if you say arms industry, weapons industry, it's more of business of weapons.
Yeah, like you're going to attack someone, right?
Killing machines.
Yeah.
So it has a different socioeconomic connotation.
Yeah.
And so it's depending on how you approach the industry. It's very interesting.
It can give you a really different feel from the get-go. But like you said, they are all the same industry that we're talking. It's not separated into weapons, arms, and defense. Because defense, as I said, I've done a few videos. It is talking about those attacking weapons, but they could be used, of course, to defend yourself, as well as go and attack another country. Right. And K-defense does seem to be the latest in our K series, right? From K-pop, K-movies, K-food, K-defense. Now K-defense. So why has this captured international interest like South Korea's defense industry?
I think there are many factors playing in. The first is definitely we have more wars ongoing right now. The Russia-Ukraine war, the Middle East situation continues, and having this hot wars back is really changing how states are thinking about their arms purchases. If before they were more interested in buying advanced weapon systems, and right now what matters really now is whether you can get those weapons in time and also at the affordable prices. Because like in the Iran war, what we saw is what we call war of attrition. Iran using very cheap drones to strike very expensive U.S. missile defense, high-end aircrafts, and this is in order to defend to be able to continue the fight, you have to be able to supply your forces. And here, that's where I think South Korea shines, because South Korea, with North Korea in the vicinity, has kept our assembly lines hot and also with a different mix of products. And we deliver in time with the affordable price and in right quantity. And so I think all factors are kind of playing in and making K-defense kind of really a big niche market.
I mean, that then makes me feel, it's actually quite a sad reason why K-defense is hot at the moment, because of the current wars, the ongoing wars. And you mentioned there briefly North Korea. Many of our listeners, you might not know the fact that we're still technically at war with North Korea. So we have to be on this defense stance all the time, right? 24/7. But the kind of silver lining is we've kept our defense industry developing and assembly lines going, whereas Europe and many countries there kind of forgot about defense. Maybe that's not the right word, but they put it on the back burner and didn't have it as a priority. So honestly speaking then, where does South Korea's defense industry rank or stand on the global stage? And which countries are considered the the real big powerhouses. I mean, for most people, I think they'll think of the US, right?
Right. Well, there's a lot of different reports that we could look into, but what I always go back to is the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, the SIPRI.
Okay.
And they publish regular records of such, and covering from year 21 to 25, South Korea was the 9th largest supplier of weapons.
Wow.
But the thing is, U.S. is the dominant first.
Okay. Head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah, right. And from 2 to 8, they are in the range of 4 to 7%.
Oh, wow. So tiny compared to the US,
right? So US comprises all 7, and it's just still larger than the others.
Wow.
But South Korea is there with the 3%. So it's not a small niche market, but it's 9th is a quite progress from previous.
Okay.
So we are going
in the right direction. I mean, to rival the US is difficult for any country, right? Not just Korea.
Yes.
And so South Korea, we are now well known for exporting weapons, but we still do import as well, some weapons. But it hasn't been forever that defense exports have existed. I remember we were talking on our show how Korea has kind of gone from an importer to an exporter.
Right.
And I've talked about that on our show with aid as well. Like we used to get foreign aid and now we give foreign aid. So there are many measurements that show how much Korea has developed. So when did that start, us becoming an exporter?
Your point about the aid is actually very relevant to South Korea's defense industry
Oh,
because
really?
how we first received the weapon systems was from the U.S.'s foreign military assistance. So the weapons were given to us, and then as our economy began to pick up, we began to make purchases. We call it off the shelf, buying the full finished product
From other countries?
From the U.S. mostly in the during Cold War. And then in the 1970s, that was Park Chung-hee era where we began to think about independent national defense.
Yeah.
And so we began to realize that we needed to be able to produce, not only just purchase from outside.
Yeah.
So we not just buying things off the shelf, we began to look for licensed production, which is kind of the next step in the defense industry.
Where we would produce them under license in Korea.
Right. We would purchase the license and then produce. And then kind of the next leap, I think, was in the 1990s when, with the collapse of Soviet Union, Russia repaid their debt by giving us their weapons and military systems in the 1990s.
Oh, that was their form of payment.
Right.
Okay.
That was the Bulgon project. And that was where we learned a lot of missile technologies. And based on that, from I think it was 2001 that we first did the K9 sales to Turkey, Turkey, and T-50 aircraft to Indonesia in 2011. So gradually, by platform, we began to proceed with exports.
Wow,
yes.
That's such an interesting journey from getting them free to then having to buy them to then licensing production, then developing our own tech and learning from other weapons donations or paying of debt from Russia to now selling to other countries, right? And it's just gone from strength to strength. So you mentioned Turkey and Indonesia. Are those still the kind of primary destinations for South Korean exports, or have we expanded?
We have expanded and changed, and we're going back to the SIPRI data set from year 2021 and 2025. The 3 most destinations are Poland, Philippines, and United Arab Emirates.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, but that's the only the 3 most. But if we look at systems like K9, the recipient list is larger, such as European countries, India, Australia, Egypt.
K9 is the tank, is it?
Howitzer, yes.
Okay.
Self-propelled howitzer.
Wow,
yes.
so that's a very popular export to many different countries. And yeah, Poland, I think, grabbed a lot of headlines for importing from Korea the tank systems, right? And the Philippines, we have one listener from the Philippines, Ben, saying, I've heard that many of our ships are built in South Korea, and I saw on the news that the relationship between the two countries is going to be boosted more moving ahead. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking about military ships, but Korea's shipbuilding in general is such a strong industry,
That's right.
Yeah.
Our previous the Vive in Action, we only dealt the army products.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
One of the reviewers told me that you should talk about also Navy
Yes.
products. But as you said, South Korea does have strong shipbuilding industry, and we build our own destroyers.
So it's not just regular like civilian vessels. We also can do warships as well.
Yes, and we have conventional submarines, and we are trying to boost that field as well.
Yeah.
Now also drones is also a new field.
Wow. So we're trying to build, it seems to the layman, like everything, any kind of weapon system is not off the table. But let's introduce a few like representative K-defense weapons, right? Because maybe our global listeners who are interested in K-pop and K-dramas, they might not have seen this news about K-defense. So what are some of our most popular items? Like you mentioned, the K9 is that howitzer. So that's what, like, artillery kind of self-propelled.
Self-propelled. It's we call it 155 millimeter caliber, which means it's the size, the diameter of the barrel.
Okay.
And it's the size of ammunition that you can shoot. And K9, the reason why it has been so, I think, popular is one of the reason is interoperability. This 155 millimeters, the size is same as the NATO standard. So European countries tend to see K9 as fit.
Okay.
And also, technically also, it can shoot over a range of 40 kilometers.
Wow.
And known as this shoot and scoot operation. You can shoot and move really fast.
Oh, really? It's portable.
Yes, it's mobile. So you can deliver 3 rounds of firing in 15 seconds, which is quite quick.
Wow.
So technically, it's also quite adaptable to the situation. And also, what South Korea firms offer is a package price. We don't only sell the weapon systems, but we do trainings and also follow on upgrades.
Oh, that's all included in the package.
Yes, we offer, and also if they need their local specific needs, there are programs that are to meet them. So it's more
which can tailor make them.
Right, it's very adaptable. And lastly, it's combat proven. During the Yeonpyeong Island, the K9 was used to as a retaliatory response to North Korea's
attack.
That
was what, over 10 years ago?
More than 10 years, right? 2010.
Okay, yeah, and so that means it saw actual battle action, which in peace times it can be rare, right, for weapons.
Right.
They could just be all theoretical.
Yeah, you can see them in expos, but you never see them in real operation. And
I guess from the buyer's perspective, that's really important. Like, it's great looking in an expo, but they're the perfect conditions. So to see it in military action, that helps with the sales. What else that people might recognize more, I guess, just instinctively in terms of any vehicle weapons?
K2, K2, the main battle tank.
Yeah.
That's also well sold, I think.
Is that the one that we sold to Poland? In terms of the tanks. Was that K2?
That's, I think, K9.
Okay. We sold the howitzers to Poland in bigger numbers. Right. The K2 is our own developed battle tank.
Right, main battle tank. And that's... South Korea's weapon systems, I think, have a good selling point for foreign buyers because South Korean terrain is very diverse. We have mountainous regions, and we have hot summer and very cold winter.
I see. So these weapons are developed with Korea and our environment taken into consideration.
Right. And because our environment is so diverse, it's adaptable to many different places.
Yeah.
And also we do tests in foreign countries like Turkey or Norway.
We take our weapons over there.
Right, to see if they can hold performance in different circumstances.
Wow.
So combat proven plus different terrain proven, I think makes South Korean weapon systems quite affordable and
the
attractive.
appeal, right, is there. And like you said, we're not just testing it here, we're taking them to other countries.
Right.
And we mentioned this earlier, that we've got North Korea as our northern neighbours. And that really hits home when we think we're the only divided nation still in the world. How much of an impact do you think that has for South Korea becoming this defense powerhouse? Do you think if we had a peaceful relationship with North Korea, we wouldn't be a defense powerhouse?
Yeah, I think North Korea is a fundamental factor because defense industry is it's a guns and butter question. If your country needs more guns, you are going to have less money for butter and breads.
Is that why we don't have much butter? It's very expensive here in Korea, isn't it? Compared to Europe. Oh, that's such an interesting way to put it, though. You've got to have a balance, right? There's not unlimited funds, right?
And it's defense industry is really about states' choices. Do you rely on your alliance or do you maintain your ability to be able to produce yourself? South Korea, because North Korea is in the vicinity, I think it kept our motivations persist to maintain the defense industry and continue to develop.
Rather than, because the US is our biggest ally since the Korean War, maybe even before that, and we could rely on them because they're global number one. And I think Europe has been accused of relying too much on them themselves. And Europe, is a big powerhouse. So I guess with these results we're seeing now, Korea has made the right decision not to just rely on US help.
Right. I mean, we had several shocks, like Nixon doctrine in the 1960s, where there were discussions about U.S.'s possible withdrawal from
wow. Even back then?
Yes. So that was what really drove Park Chung-hee government's national defense build up that time.
That potential that the U.S. might just withdraw.
Yes.
Wow.
So that tension ebb and flow. And so our defense industry, thanks to this ebb and flow, were able to be where we are right now.
Wow, so that, again, like a blessing in disguise.
Oh, that's a good way to put it, yeah.
Having North Korea as our northern neighbours can be quite nerve-wracking at times, but it has developed the industry to the extent where we are now one of the top 10 exporters. Dr. Cho, we're going to get to a song break, and then we'll be back after this one. We're going to listen to Solid with Holding the End of the Night, 이 밤의 끝을 잡고. This is your request.
Yes.
Why did we choose this one?
Well, I wanted a song with a name, Bomb,
okay.
not knife, bomb.
Okay, I see.
in the title. So,
yes.
And that was my most favorite song.
So that's kind of a play on words. Sounds like bomb, but bam meaning night in the Korean title. It's got nothing to do with bombs.
No, not at all.
Okay, let's listen to Solid then. We're back for part 2 of Peters on the Block with Dr. Jo Byun, a research fellow at the Center for Security Strategies at the Sejong Institute and a K-defense expert. We just heard her request Solids, Holding the End of the Night, very emotional track, but 이 밤의 끝을 잡고, so bam sounding like bomb. I like the link there. And Betty also says, I love that. Kim Jo-han is also popular these days. He also is an English radio DJ, I believe, Kim Jo-han.
I see.
Yeah, because I think he grew up in the States, right?
Yeah, that's
a member
right.
of Solid.
Yes.
Yeah. You like that group?
Yes,
the song?
I used to. Yeah. Old Obies.
They have some great classics, don't they? Solid. We are talking K-defense, and we just mentioned before the song break how North Korea has, in a way, helped South Korea grow into this defense powerhouse. I guess it would be kind of the opposite, like North Korea as well has a developed defense industry because of South Korea, but maybe because of
US,
the economic situation there, it's not quite as powerful in exports. Although we did see in Russia and Ukraine in that war, North Korean troops, I don't know about equipment, but were given to Russia, right?
North Korea is receiving a lot of source of income from Russia Corporation, and they have been sending, for instance, in December, they sent 12,000 female workers to Russia's drone factory.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know about that. Female workers to the factory.
Drone factories in Russia. So they are, it's source of income, also source of technology know-hows.
Wow, that is so interesting how these conflicts can highlight the relationships between countries. And we mentioned Iran as well earlier. So these conflicts, these active ones, they are, again, it might be a bit sad, but they are boosting K-defense in the industry in terms of sales.
Right. It's making countries realize the weaknesses in their defense system and what they lack and how they need to set new priorities. And South Korea, in that sense, can produce in time and affordable price with better packaged offers of such as technology licenses and transfers. So
yeah, I heard with the Iran conflict, you know, one of the early reactions was for them to attack neighboring countries, especially with like US bases and whatnot, and places like the UAE were suffering. And as you mentioned earlier, they're using very cheap drones. But the issue was that the American defense system was using really expensive like missiles to intercept these drones, which is just not efficient, right? And also not sustainable, as you said, like the war of attrition. I thought America has loads of weapons, so they will be able to outlast anyone. But the problem is a lot of US defense weaponry and missiles and whatnot costs too much money to replace in a short time frame. So that has seen some more K exports to that part of the world as well.
Right. In the field that we do have overlaps. But some of the areas such as really high-end fighter jets, for instance, that's somewhere South Korea defense industry has not reached yet. So that field is more dominated by US still.
They've like got an exclusive hold on that because of the advanced technology. I mean, South Korea also does develop some fighter jets, but not like the very top end.
Right. We have the T-50 trainer. We began from a trainer jet, and then we modified it to a light fighter jet called FA-50. But that's the speed is like Mach 1.5.
Oh wow!
Which as to, for instance, US's F-35, F-22, it's over Mach 2.25.
So there's a big
double,
jump,
right? So
we haven't reached that level
not
of
yet.
technology. But I guess the aim is always to try to develop better tech and move up.
Actually, that was actually the goal, I would say, in the previous era before the start of all these wars. But now with the start of the wars, resilience and be able to supply is also reshuffling South Korea's priorities as well. So maybe we do not have to produce everything. We don't need to produce high and low everything, but we can concentrate some, rely on alliance goods on
for
some.
Other.
So
it's like a balance,
right?
Because I guess maybe the US does produce everything by itself, but that's a very rare case, right? If you're a smaller country, that must be very difficult. This is then a conundrum, right? I'm sure many people want world peace. You hear about it all the time at like Miss Universe or at the UN and things like this. But if there was no war, does that mean the defense industry would become obsolete? Does that mean, Dr. Joe, you would be out of work as well? I wonder, right? What is the conundrum? Would there always be a defense industry, do you think?
I think so. I think you kind of mentioned it earlier on. It's we need weapon system not only to attack, but in order to be able to defend ourselves, and also in order to prevent the adversary from attacking, we need to deter them. How do we deter? We need to show our strength and capabilities, and the only way that we can do it is not only through gestures of dialogue, but we need to have enough capabilities to be able to retaliate if there is any contingency. So in that sense, military weapon systems are required.
Yeah.
And there are also cases like natural disasters. We saw massive flood in China, and they used military equipments as buoys to rescue civilians. So military goods can be used in different times as well. So
yeah, and I heard multiple times that the defense industry or the military industry is often responsible for a lot of early research in new technologies.
That's right.
Like, because it's the biggest motivator to save your country or protect your own interests, and then that filters down into like civilian industries a lot, right? So maybe we would lose that aspect.
Right. Like the microwave, right? The microwave and radars, they were the spillovers
from military like research
between military and civilian. So
and I don't know if this is just a fantasy in my brain, but even if there's no wars in the world and we could trust everyone 100%, you never know about aliens and like threats from other planets eventually. So I guess continuing to develop those defense capabilities, it's not a bad thing as a kind of fail-safe, the last kind of option.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'm just thinking too much about Elon Musk and SpaceX and whatnot. In terms of countries outside of Korea, do different countries have like certain specialities or weapons that they specialize in?
Well, U.S. has many specialties.
Yes.
Fighter jets to submarines to missile defense.
Wow. They have
all
it all
sorts.
Yeah.
And France, UK, they also have their own quite good in defense industry.
Are they quite broad as well in their capabilities?
Not as much as, of course, as
the
US, but that's the dominant first. But the others, they do have their variation. But I guess South Korea would have more diversity in the sense because of, as you mentioned earlier, we had the North Korea in the vicinity. We were not able to cool down those weapon systems, so we continue to produce ammunition, shells, missile defense, to lighter fighter jets to. Now we are talking about the submarines as well. So
wow, that is really broad now that you list it out like that. Because to be honest, Europe after the First and Second World Wars, we really had maybe the best experience of all those global conflicts, and that led to lots of developments. Like I remember learning in English history class about Spitfire planes, and then you talked about the tanks, right, from Germany and trench warfare. And so to be honest, we had a really good starting point when it comes to defense, but then we thought this is an era of peace and we wanted to believe in that. And I don't know, if you had asked me at that time, I think I would have been the same. Like, let's not concentrate on defense because that might encourage us to be more violent or war-seeking. So I don't know. I've heard a lot of criticism of Europe, but I think that's very idealistic. But I like idealistic. Like, I like to be optimistic. So I don't know if that's the wrong decision back then to say let's have peace.
Right. I
it's
think
hard.
That was the momentum of the era. I think it was inevitable flow of history.
Yeah.
And as you said, countries began to produce less, and how defense industry is really state business. You need massive investment for a long time, and the most problem is economies of scale. Like we could eat 3 sandwiches a day, but I would probably never in my life I would buy a gun, you know.
Never ever.
So it's economies of scale doesn't work.
Because there's not much demand outside of the state.
Right. And so like the European countries, how they evolved was they began to produce parts and components rather than whole thing.
Okay.
And by that they place more weight on butter than guns.
Yeah.
But right now with wars reinitiating in the backdrop,
We need more guns.
You need more guns.
There's too much butter in Europe. We've got fat on butter, maybe, is the analogy. One question I think many listeners might have, just your average person on the street, is how expensive are these weapons? Like, if we're talking about economies of scale and governments having to choose, like, what's an example that might be quite shocking of a price of some of these things?
Right. It's actually a very difficult question because, like, a price of weapon is, it's not just the one thing, but
it's not like a supermarket with one price.
Right. You need to, you have different options, and then you slice training and upgrade prices in different quantities that you buy. But just to be roughly speaking, the most advanced fighter jet, US's fighter jet, is F-22 Raptor.
Okay.
That costs $350 million US dollars.
For one.
And and that's in Korean with the currency exchange. It's 5,100억 원이니까.
5,100억?
5,100억 won.
억 is like a billion, if I'm not mistaken.
So 150 billion, right?
Wow.
510 billion.
Yeah, 510 billion.
If we say really good German-made expensive car is, it's probably, you're having maybe 5,000.
Yeah, of those for just one fighter jet. That is insane. And obviously countries in an ideal situation would have many of those, and that's just one tiny aspect of their air force, let alone the army or the navy. You get a slight idea of the scale, but it's still unimaginable.
Yeah.
Wow, Dr. Joe, this has been so much fun speaking about the defense industry, and I think for our listeners, where we do a lot more soft K-culture stuff, this will be really eye-opening. Maybe some are surprised as well that K-defense is so hot at the moment. Before we jump into a quiz then, Dr. Joe, what kind of future do you see for K-defense? Right now, it seems to be the talk of the town, but in the next 10 years or 50 years, how do you see it developing?
I think it really depends on if South Korea can go up the value chain. Right now, we still depend on US's high-end parts and components.
Really?
If we are able to produce them, if we are able to go up the ladder, then maybe we could become more first-tier arms producers.
Oh, wow.
But that's really a difficult hurdle because of all the technologies and
that we have to develop.
Right. And again, the guns and butter question. We cannot put everything on one bucket. So it really depends on how much we want to be at the first-tier arms producer.
And it can't be like black and white that we should want to be first tier. That's debatable, isn't it? Like you said, maybe we want to concentrate more on other things in society. That's a really interesting point as well. Dr. Joe, to finish off on Peters on the Block, we have a tradition of doing a quiz, but the quiz question our writer does is linked to the guest's area of expertise. So it's usually not that simple. You first have a choice. You don't have to do the quiz. It's not compulsory. So I'll ask you this question first. There are some great prizes, though, to be won. I think 150,000 won of cafe vouchers. Not going to buy an F-22 Raptor jet, but it will start your savings, okay? So first up, would you like to take the quiz? Yes or no?
Yes.
Good. Otherwise, I have 3 more minutes to fill. So thank you for saying yes. We will get to the quiz question. I've got this box of prizes over here. So here we go. Listeners at home, try and guess as well. So during the reign of King Sejong in the Joseon dynasty, this is going back, okay? There was a weapon called the Shingijeon, a pride of Korean defense history, and apparently the world's very first rocket weapon, right? So at the time, the Shingijeon represented the pinnacle of Joseon's advanced military tech, so gunpowder manufacturing techniques and production methods were managed as vital state secrets. In 2008, a film of the same name, based on this great weapon, was produced in South Korea. Have you heard of the film Shingijeon?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So here's the question. Who is the director of the movie Shingijeon? The English title was The Divine Weapon. And I've got some options for you, okay? Number 1, director Park Chan-wook. Number 2, director Bong Joon-ho. Number 3, director Yoon Jae-kyun, or number 4, director Kim Yoo-jin. That is your 4 options. Do you have a feeling?
No.
Okay, so those first 2, our listeners are quite familiar with Park Chan-wook and Bong Joon-ho as well. They've won many awards multiple times. I can give you one more hint.
Okay.
Would you like it?
Yes, please.
The director behind one of Korea's iconic romance films, The Promise, starring Jeon Do-yeon and Park Shin-yang, is the same director for this. So one more time. Park Chan-wook, Bong Joon-ho, Yoon Jae-kyun, or Kim Yoo-jin?
Last one?
The last one, Kim Yoo-jin. Yes! Congratulations, Dr. Jo. Have you heard of... I've never heard of Kim Yoo-jin, to be honest. Do you know the name?
No.
Oh, well, how did you get it right, though?
No, I do know.
Okay.
But I always forget afterwards.
Uh-huh.
But I did love the movie and the Promise
as well.
So...
Okay. Is this film as good as well, The Divine Weapon?
Yes.
Shingi-jeon?
Yes.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it. Okay, so from this box of prizes, Dr. Jo, I hope you pick something good, because there are also bad prizes in here. Like a selfie with me is one of the prizes.
Oh, that's good.
Which is terrible, I promise you. Okay, if you open it up, if you just give it a squeeze, and it matches your jacket today, the light blue.
Yes, it does.
And then could you read it out for us? In Korean is fine. Okay, what does it say? I can see it's not a great prize.
이 책만 있으면 나도 영어 천재. 귀가 뻥 뚫리는 피터 빈트의 귀가 트이는 영어.
Your English is already perfect, and so giving you my monthly English book, I'm so sorry for that prize.
I would want your autograph.
I will definitely sign it for you. Dr. Jo, one last message you'd like to say to our global listeners before you leave. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Oh, I didn't think about it.
It could just be a goodbye and stay interested in K-Defense.
Oh, yes. Please stay tuned for K-Defense and be safe.
Oh, fantastic. As a defense expert, that's perfect advice. Dr. Jo, thank you so much for coming in today. I hope we can have you in again, maybe at peaceful times as well. That would be nice. Dynamic duo to take us out today, featuring Crush and Sol with Blue. It's been your Daily Dose of Career. #DailyK out. Bye-bye.